Of how Santorum's stature is in the Republic Party.
Who are committed to the principles that made this country great.
You can judge the difference between Santorum 2 weeks ago and Santorum now by how the press is reacting.
Because this election is about very, very big things. This is not just about jobs, although it is about jobs. And we obviously need to do something about jobs in this country, and we put forward an economic plan that the Wall Street Journal calls supply-side economics for the working man. Why? Because we care to make sure that every American has the opportunity to rise, that the ladder goes down, not just to those who might be voting for us, but yes, the very poor, the people in this country who have been suffering and left behind. We want to create an opportunity for all of them. Blue-collar Americans, the working poor, to rise in society. And we've put together a plan that reinvigorates the manufacturing base of our economy, that creates opportunities for people to be able to rise again in America. And that's important. It's important that we tackle this huge, monstrous debt that we have in our country. A debt that is crushing America and our children. An immoral debt. I put forward another plan that says we're going to cut $5 trillion in 5 years, balance the budget in 5 years, and in every year we will spend less money than the year before, year after year after year, until the budget is balanced. No more cuts in the rate of growth. We know it's about big things, though, really big things, more than just, well, the economy. It's about foundational principles, and we've seen that played out here just in the last few weeks. Every speech I've given, from the 381 town hall meetings I did in Iowa, I talked about founding principles. This campaign is going to be about a vision. This campaign is going to be about who we are as Americans, because in essence that's what's at stake. This is the most important election in your lifetime. It's an election about what kind of country you're going to leave to the next generation. Are we going to be a country that believes, as our founders did, that our rights don't come from the government, they come from a much higher authority?
The story isn't the truth, the story is the attention of the people.
Those in our country and those in the Oval Office who believe that that's not the case. They believe that rights do in fact come from the government, and that they have gone around convincing the American public that they can in fact give you rights. The most important one that they've been able to shove down the throats of the American public was, of course, the right to health care. The right to health care in Obamacare. And we see what happens when government gives you rights. When government gives you rights, government can take away those rights. When government gives you rights, government can coerce you into doing things and exercising the right that they gave you. I've been traveling around this country talking about how Obamacare will crush economic freedom, will make people dependent upon government for the most important things, their very lives. And as a result, government will own you, because you will have to pay tribute to Washington in order to get the care you need for your children. One of the reasons I'm in this race, in fact the major reason I'm in this race, is because I think Obamacare is a game changer for America. Margaret Thatcher said when she left the Prime Ministership of England, she was never able to accomplish what Reagan accomplished. She said the reason? The British national health care system. Once people have that dependency, they are never really ever free again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen this play out on the stage in the last few weeks. We've seen the President of the United States not only tell you what insurance coverage you will have, how much you're going to pay, how much you'll be fined if you don't, but he's now telling the Catholic Church that they are forced to pay for things that are against their basic tenets and teachings, against their First Amendment right. Now, interesting enough, here's what they're forcing them to do. In an insurance policy, They're forcing them to pay for something that costs just a few dollars. Is that what insurance is for? And then the foundational idea that we have the government telling you that you have to pay for everything as a business. Things that are not really things that you need insurance for. And still forcing on something that is not a critical economic need. When you have economic distress, which you would need insurance. But forcing them even the more to do it for minor expenses. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of coercion that we can expect. It's not about contraception. It's about economic liberty. It's about freedom of speech. It's about freedom of religion. It's about government control of your lives, and it's got to stop.
If you want to know what the story of this speech is, this standing ovation and the attention that this speech is getting from this audience is the story of this speech. This is the moment of maximum danger for Romney and all the other candidates, and a moment of maximum danger for Obama.
And this isn't the only place that President Obama is trying to control your lives. Of course, one of the favorite things of the left is to use your sentimentality, your proper understanding and belief that we are stewards of this earth, and that we have a responsibility to hand off a beautiful earth to the next generation. And so they use that, and they've used it in the past to try to scare you into supporting radical ideas on the environment. They tried it with this idea, this politicization of science called man-made global warming. And President Obama, you may remember, tried to pass cap and trade and tried to get control not only of the healthcare system, but of the energy industry, the manufacturing industry, another two big sectors of this economy. And using this facade of man-made global warming. Well, I stood up and fought against those things. Why? Because they will destroy the very foundation of prosperity in our country. You look at any country in the world, and you look at their energy consumption, the cost of energy, and their quality of life, their standard of living. The more energy consumption, the higher the standard of living. That's just the bottom line. We need in America, if we're going to fuel a great and vibrant economy, we need affordable energy. And this administration has gone out and not only has attacked us with cap and trade and global warming, but now that that has been thrown on the dustbin of history, now they're going after hydrofracking. Now, I come from Pennsylvania. We're doing a little bit of that in Pennsylvania. Thank God. And guess what? Of course, now that we're doing hydrofracking near the population centers, the boogeyman comes out. Ooh, look at what it's going to do to you. You know how many wells have been hydrofracking in the United States? Oh, about 700,000 or 800,000. Where's been all the noise?
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, they scare you.
Nice to meet you.
To intimidate you, to trust them, and to give them more power. We need someone who's willing to go out on these big issues of the day and draw contracts. We're not going to win this election.